Okay. Oh, this is still my hand. Can't show that. Okay. Let's move this over. All right. I'm exhausted. We're good. Took a little break from YouTube. It's been like maybe 2.5 weeks since I posted a video. As of recording this, it's February 5th today. Oh, almost just knocked something over. Now, let's take these glasses off. It's funny, I have like 4 videos to edit and I'm just so lazy, it's unbelievable. I just fell too behind and now I'm like, if I post these videos in February, these are videos I recorded in December. It feels so weird to be doing that. So I'm kind of rethinking the types of videos I make, because the reading vlogs, reading as much as I do on top of working a full-time job and trying to write a book is very difficult to keep up with. So let's view this video as a bit of a new year fresh start for the Kieran Pike channel, okay? I want to get back into making videos with a great classic monthly recap, all right? I got 6 books I read this month. It was so close to being 7, it's unbelievable. I missed the deadline by 1 day, all right? I missed the deadline by 1 day for 7th book, but it's okay. We'll talk about that 7th book in the next month recap, or perhaps I'll even do just a single review on it. I very liked it, very much liked it. I can't speak properly. It might have been that pen rip. I don't want to beat around any bushes. This is January of 2026. Well, it's actually February. I'm going to be talking about January. We're going to be ranking all 6 books I read from worst to best. It might sound a little fucked up to try to be ranking them from worst to best, because I enjoyed every book I read this month. But you gotta pull in the views, right? And everyone loves a good ranking. I love a good ranking. I want to do this. Let's go to book number 6. Let's get a good thumbnail going. Let's get a thumbnail. How about that? Ready? There we go. This first book, it is a tome. It is a very, very big book. It's sitting at a solid 873 pages? No, even more than that, 877 pages. My history with this book is it was the 2nd book I read this month. 3rd book, actually, I take that back. It was halfway through the month. It did not take me long at all. Flew through it, and I had a really good time with it. But as it's gone, and my immediate rating was a 4.5 stars, all right? Very over-exaggerated rating. I immediately lowered it to a 4 like a week later. I was like, a 4.5, that's a bit excessive. I read this for a book club, and when the discussion came around, when it was time to discuss this book, I ended up leaving with a rating of 3.25 stars. It's not great. I mean, don't get me wrong, that is still a 6.5. A 6.5 is a positive score. Keep that in mind, guys. 5 is the middle ground, which means completely average. Wasn't good, wasn't bad. This is still a 6.5. And for how big it is, that's not bad at all. That book is King Sorrow by Joe Hill. I was really excited about this book, and you know, but something had to be the worst, and this was it. And I think, you know, I honestly might do a review on this, because doing that book club discussion kind of brought up some things I want to talk about. So I might do a separate video on this, and all these discussions are going to be pretty short for the most part. On first interaction with this book, I really enjoyed it, but looking back on it, it has some serious issues when it comes to the pacing of the separate parts this book is told into. A lot of tonal whiplash. The characters I absolutely loved, sort of, but the dialogue in this book really held them back from being amazing characters, and just kind of the writing sometimes in this book in general isn't too great, even if what I'm liking on the screen on the screen, sorry, I've been reading on my Kindle too much. Like, in hindsight and looking back on it, like in the moment I can enjoy it, but then you look back and there's a lot of strange choices this book makes that are kind of hard to suspend your disbelief for at times. And it sucks because like I said, I like these characters so much as people. Like, to be fair, they're all pieces of shit for the most part, except for like 2 of them. The dialogue in this book is really just so, it pulls you out of the characters. And that's where I feel so conflicted with this book, is its characters. Because for me, the characters are the best and the worst part of this book's solely because the dialogue, it's so flip-floppy. Kind of jumbled thoughts. I want to do reviews on these books, but something had to be the bottom, and sadly it was King Sorrow by Joe Hill. First Joe Hill book. I liked it, guys. I still liked it. A 6.5 is not bad at all. And I honestly think if you're looking for something Stephen King adjacent, because this book definitely reads like a Stephen King book, especially after reading like 4 of them very closely to each other. Definitely a lot of Stephen King isms. Can't speak. Stephen King isms. It reminds me of his father. I love this edition. I love this. I love this. That looks so good. It had to be something, guys. It had to be something, and sadly, it was King Sorrow by Joe Hill, sitting at a 3.25 stars, 6.5 out of 10. All right. This is The Witcher, the first book in the Witcher series, The Last Wish. It's a collection of short stories, which for me is something I'm not well versed in at all. I gave this a solid 4 stars. I really enjoyed my time with it. I read a book in this month, in February, that I'll talk about that reminded me a lot of this, and it kind of made me want to lower my score to a 3.75 just because I thought what this book does, that book does almost a little better. This isn't about that book. This is about The Witcher. So this is going to be sitting at a 3.75 to a 4 star. I really could go either way with it. I really enjoyed this book. Kind of similar to Joe Hill, my problem with this book, well, that's kind of wrong because I love the characters in King Sorrow. The dialogue is not so great. To me, I felt that the characters in this book were the weakest aspect for me, and I really enjoy good characters. And Geralt, just so far, and I think maybe it has to do with it being just a collection of short stories and I'm not actually into the novels yet, Geralt feels a little underdeveloped, and it feels like the side characters stand out a lot more. Like, I love Dandelion and Torque in this book, and Torque's only in one of the stories, but I can remember Torque, and he's characterized so much more concretely in my mind than Geralt is, which is not a great sign. But despite that, this book is pure fun. It throws so many fun twists on just typical fantasy tropes and ideas at you in bite-sized pieces that I loved for the most part. There's only one in here that I just didn't really love. It was the one at the wedding scene, I believe. It's not a wedding. It was like a betrothal ceremony thing. I don't know. That one kind of threw me off a little bit, but I actually know a bit about the lore behind it and as to why it's there and what it's kind of doing. It's setting up a certain character for future books. So I get it's necessary to have in there. I just didn't enjoy reading it as much. I did read all these stories in one sitting, though. Like, I didn't read half of one story and then go back to it the next day, so it was still a good story. It just wasn't as good to me as the rest of these. Rambling thoughts. I don't want to speak too much on it because I have 6 books to talk about, but this is my 5th favorite book of this month. 5th out of 6, sitting at a 3.75 to a 4 star. A solid 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. Yeah, real fun book. I like this one, I will say. It's mind-blowing that I thought King Sorrow was a 4.5 because I definitely enjoyed my time with this one more than that book. So it's good to kind of talk about this and put things into perspective in my mind. Last Wish. Real fun time. This next one's a bit of a cop-out. Oh, not a cop-out. It's just... I'll show you. It's a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, but not really. I only read The Hedge Knight this month. I read it in preparation for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the show, which so far has been great. As of the time of recording this, episode 3 just aired a couple days ago. This was a very fun time. I have not read The Sorn Sword or the other one. I cannot remember the title of it. Only The Hedge Knight, so this rating only pertains to The Hedge Knight story. It's George R.R. Martin. It can't be bad, right? At least when it comes to his A Song of Ice and Fire world, it really can't be bad. I've yet to read Fire and Blood, but I'm very excited to pick that up, and I should have read this a long time ago. I don't know what it was that was kind of keeping me from doing it. I think it was almost not wanting to leave this world because I love the world of Westeros so much. And because of that, I'm almost sad I didn't read it earlier because this is a story that really puts you in the world more than any of them because it gives you time with these two super lovable main character duo to just just explore the world in its bare bones and really just put you in the mud of Westeros, as well as still giving you some of that political intrigue that is so great about the main series, but in a totally different context. Yeah, a great time. Dunk and Egg, obviously, are amazing characters. I mean, and as much as I love Egg, Dunk specifically just leaps off the page. He's so lovable. And it's such a short book, I can't talk about too much without spoilers, because I'm trying not to spoil things in this, of course. What a great time this was. Real short. Of course, it's got a bunch of images, you know, amazing artwork in here. There's one specifically that I love. Let's see if I can't find it real quick. It's a full page art. I cannot find it, but I mean, just look at that. It's so much fun. Without those, if you're looking, like, I think on the Kindle, it said it was 88 pages. It's very, very short, bordering on a short story. Read it if you haven't yet. What are you waiting for? 4.25 stars. These next three, well, the next two are actually, they're pretty tied, honestly. They're both 4.75 stars for me. So close to 5s. But the reason this one is coming before the next one is I'm considering bumping the next one up to a 5 because I think about it all the time. It was the second book I read that month, and this one right here is the last one I read this month. So it's the freshest in my mind. You know, maybe with time it'll go up to that 5 or perhaps even that coveted 6-star rating, that 100 out of 100 per my old scale, which was a fucking disaster to think of ratings for. Those 3 books I really enjoyed. Witcher was a fun time. King's Sorrow was good. It was, for, especially in the moment, it was good. After thinking about it more, wasn't so great. And The Knight of Seven Kingdoms is just a real short tale. But this book is something completely different. This book right here, with its misprinted cover, thank you Amazon, The Lions of Alberson by Guy Gavriel Kay, my first Guy Gavriel Kay book. This book is incredible. This book is something completely separate from those other books I've listed. This is a true literary triumph, an experience like none other that I've had this month or even last year. I don't want to go too much into this because I could talk about it forever, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers, and I do want to do a full review with spoilers in the future, perhaps this month, but oh my fucking God. This book is gripping in every aspect. Its characters are incredible. Its world, while it's not very fleshed out in the sense of like you have this real concrete world building, it kind of just throws you into it with some explanation along the way. That's not a bad thing. It honestly adds to the experience because while this is a fantasy book, it really is just like a historical fiction. It's barely fantasy at all. There's like one tiny fantasy element that barely comes into play, and there's 2 moons. That's about it. The political intrigue in this book is so interesting. The pacing of this book is fucking breakneck. That's my one criticism. I think towards the end, the pacing gets a little too fast because while the events happening throughout the book are always very fast, it usually allows you to sit in those events a little longer. That was kind of my problem. That the only reason it's a 4.75 instead of a 5 or a 6-star is that the pacing towards the end just speeds up a little too much for me. I digress. The pacing is amazing. The characters are amazing. The twists and turns in this book. This is a standalone fantasy book, and it felt like I read an entire series, at least a trilogy, at the least. Wow. And oh my God. And you know, I'm not a prude. I just tend to not like sex scenes as much because I feel like a lot of the time they're written just because the author was horny. That's kind of the way it comes off. There's some sex scenes in this book that are like unironically some of my favorite scenes in the book because the amount of character development that Guy Gavriel Kay can put into those scenes and in every single moment, and the way these relationships are built and formed, and oh my God, I can gush over this book forever. And the ending is so fucking good. Oh my God, talk about bringing a book home and taking everything you've been expecting and every theme you've been digesting and making the perfect ending out of it. Why did Amazon have to fuck up my cover? Why couldn't they just send me a real cover? What? This book is incredible. 4.75 stars. 4.75 stars. Second favorite book of this month. It's so close to being number one, which is why I think it has to almost be a 5 stars. But my other one is also a 5 stars, and I just kind of liked it. My experience with that was just, it was a great time. But this book, I had no clue what to expect when going into this book, Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I had a little bit of an idea because I knew, and I'm going to give a little bit of slight synopsis if you don't like that, if you think that's spoilers, which I actually usually would agree with you if you're one of those people. Just skip by like 15-20 seconds. I knew that it was about a guy stuck in this world, or not stuck, I actually didn't, sorry. I knew it was about this guy who lived in this world that's basically just one big house, and there's statues everywhere, and the house contains the sea and the sky in it. I knew that. That was about it. And you know, that kind of sounds like, oh, you know a good bit of this story. But, oh my God, I had no idea what I was getting into in the sense of just the experience. Reading this book made me feel like a child again. It made me feel like reading... I've akined it in my Fable review, and to everyone I've talked to, I try to convince my wife to read it. She is reading it, hopefully soon. I have to just whittle her down a little more. I bought it for my sister. She's gonna read it. I always tell, in my biggest comparison, to just put it in more of a mainstream sense, and like everyone knows this comparison hopefully, is Alice in Wonderland. It felt like I was just, it's so whimsical. It felt like I said, I was a child again, reading something that is blowing my mind and taking me to a new place so viscerally. It just felt like an adult, grim version of Alice in Wonderland. It's not, you know, there's not caterpillars smoking hookahs and all this shit. It's very quiet and very dark, but it manages, especially through the writing and the character voice as well, really pushes that whimsical feeling and that hopeful feeling, even in such a bleak book. And it flies by. It's only like 238 pages, I think I just saw. I could have read this in a single day. I think I read it in like 2 to 3 days. Could have read it in a day because, wow, it grips you in its it's kind of a mundane book. Not a ton happens, but because Piranesi as a character is written, the perspective of it's told through journal entries, the way it's written, you get Piranesi's character, you can feel it so strongly that it's infectious, and he's so happy and positive, and it just makes you smile. Like there were points where I was tearing up just because Piranesi is such an amazing and like weirdly like inspiring character. Oh my, I could talk about this forever. The ending is amazing. The ending is for this book really hit home for me. I don't want to say too much. This is a book I'm definitely going to do a very long form review on. I'm going to write down a bunch of thoughts, especially once my sister and my wife read it. Then I could kind of bounce off them, maybe even get them in a video. That's always good for YouTube clickbait. I'm done talking about this because I'm already recording for 22 minutes. I don't want to spend too much time on each of these books. But this book, do I bump it up to the 5 stars? Like, what was wrong with this book? Like Lions of Al Rasan, yes, it's incredible and almost perfect, but I have a tangible reason why it's not a 5. I can't think of a reason this would not be a 5 star. I really can't. And I did not, it's not like I went in with very high expectations. I actually went in with pretty low expectations. And they were blown out of the fucking water. You know what? It's official. This book is a 5-star book and is my second favorite read of January 2026 and will most definitely end up on my top 10 list of the year. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe. Then once it hits January of next year, we're going to get some good content out of this book. That was not as cool as I hoped. Anyone that says that this book is not good needs to be checked into a mental institute. They need to be seriously, psychiatrically evaluated, because how can you not want to constantly pick up this book. Yeah, they're big pages. That's what makes it so amazing, because I don't want to leave this world. I don't want to leave this story. People say there's no plot in this book. What are you talking about? The plot is that it's all these characters trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. What are you talking about? It's almost like a mystery box fantasy. I thought it was gonna have guns in it because it kind of looks like a gun. I think I was wrong about that. There was no guns in this book. It is gritty. It is violent in the best way. The writing is incredible in this book. The characters obviously are amazing if you know anything about this series. Everyone talks about Glokta. Obviously, I loved Glokta. But Logan in this book really stood out to me. Jazal also, even though I honestly, when I first read his first chapter, I was like, is this going to be where the book dips for me? Yeah, I was a fucking idiot. Jazal's awesome. Bayaz is awesome. Malekith, I think that's his name, Malekith, the dude that's like, oh, no. Malekith Kai, I think his name is. He's the really feeble sidekick of Bayaz. What's his name? Oh my god. Brother Longfoot. Like, he's barely in it, and he stands out so much. The dog man, Pharaoh, what's the Yolway, I think his name is, the dude. I haven't picked up this book. I finished this on January 1st. I barely got this month. I haven't like thought about it. That's not true. I've thought about it a lot. I haven't picked it up or like looked into the series since then, and all these characters stick in my mind so much. I can remember every little detail and where these characters left off. It's like the perfect like blend of everything I love. I can almost see why people say there's no plot to this book, but like, that's just not true. It's factually, objectively not true. There is a plot to this book, but the kind of looseness of that plot and the vagueness, that is what makes it so amazing. That is what kept me so intrigued. This is a big book, guys, and I could not stop, especially the last like 250 pages, the second half of this book. I was just flying through it. Whenever I got a chance at work, I'm picking this book up. If I get a quick little break in my work to read just even a couple pages, because I always wanted to be in this world with these characters. Like a lot like Piranesi, the character voice. It's not just the characters. The way that Joe Abercrombie can write these characters and make them stand out from each other through just the writing and the prose alone is a feat to fucking behold, man. Really, this book is something special, and I have a feeling that this trilogy is going to be something special. I planned on reading Howling Dark this month, which is another series I obviously want to keep working on, even if I didn't love Empire of Silence. But Before They Are Hanged, the second book of this, is probably my most anticipated book of the year already, and I can read it whenever I want, but I'm trying very hard to slow down just a little bit. I don't want to say too much. I'm really not trying to do spoilers in this. It's kind of hard to talk about this without talking about spoilers, because a lot of my things that I really want to talk about have to do with events in the book. We're just going to leave it at this. It's a 5-star at the least. Is it a 6-star? Maybe. Strangely enough. But the reason I didn't give it that 6 stars is because I need to read the other 2 books, because if one of those is better, then where do you go from a 5-star? A 6-star? You gotta, you know what I mean? I already want to reread this book, but I have 2 more books to read in just the first trilogy, and then there's like, what, 6 more books after that? If every Joe Abercrombie book is as good as this one, I think I might have found my new favorite author. It's definitely possible. George R.R. Martin excluded. He will always be, A Song of Ice and Fire will probably almost always be my favorite series. But as for favorite author, that could always change, right? And Joe Abercrombie has a real big chance at making it to the top of that list. Okay. Oh, this is actually pretty fucking heavy. That's nothing. Oh, Jesus. This is nothing to scoff at, guys. This is a big stack of pages. I gotta get the thumbnail opportunity, right? I've been recording for 28 minutes. Could have made this a lot shorter. I was hoping to only record for like 15 minutes. I doubled that and gave it to the next motherfucker. So that's okay. I'm gonna get to editing this and hopefully have it posted tonight or tomorrow. Oh, real quick, let's just kind of, while I'm here, I don't want to record a whole new video. There's no point. Well, I'm going to hold the books in here to kind of be like a timer, like, hey, this is going to get heavy. You should probably stop fucking doing this. I have a couple more reading vlogs to edit. I will edit and post those, especially I actually have one for this. I just didn't record a review for it. I will most likely upload that, but especially the Salem's Lot one, because I want to get to The Shining and record that video. But as for the reading vlogs, like I was mentioning earlier in the video, it's kind of just like too much for me to keep up with the actual constant filming and the editing, because I'm trying to read and and I don't always know when I'm going to read, and I'm trying to keep writing my books, which takes a lot of energy. And I work a full-time job, and I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning for that job, so I go to bed very early as well. So trying to always constantly record clips of me reading and keeping up with and organizing 30, 40 different little bite-sized clips to edit into a video, it's kind of just a lot. So I'm gonna try to change up my video format just a little bit, but which who cares? No one watches these videos. But I want to talk about it anyways, because it is my channel. I'm gonna kind of experiment with my format probably these next few months and find a good niche for me. No matter what, I won't stop reading. And that's all that matters to me. Reading and writing. Writing's always been one of my favorite things for a long time now, but reading has really, like, since starting this channel and this last year just in general, has started to change my life, and I'm so grateful I've gotten to experience all these books, especially like Piranesi and Lions of Al Rasan and The Blade itself. I would have never found out of these books if it wasn't for the amazing community that is on YouTube and I've found from other channels, and it's starting to shape my life genuinely, and I will never stop reading, even if I slow down on videos, and I do want to keep making videos. Because I love talking about books. As you can see, I can't stop fucking smiling, and I'm not making any sense. What am I saying? I'm done. I'm done recording this. 32 minutes. What am I doing? Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Tell your bros and your hoes. Peace.